All right. Good morning. This is Calculus 1, 2.4, differentiate the product and the quotient of two functions' higher order derivatives. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So we're doing the Voodoo magic a little bit more. So we're going to apply the Voodoo magic and see all this right here? This looks really confusing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now if you had a highlighter, which you probably should right now, but I know you don't, this is what you need. What does the little tick mark right there in front of the function mean?
What? Oh, it's derivative.
Yeah, it's the derivative. It's prime, right?
Prime.
So it's the derivative of the function, right?
Yeah.
Of which function?
F of
F of x, right? So it's the function f, the derivative of the function of f times g. Is that the derivative?
No.
No, okay. Plus f of x, so that's just the function, right?
Yes.
So yes, times the derivative of g. Now, this works for when I actually am taking the derivative of two things that are being multiplied together and two things that just normally cannot be distributed. So, okay, here's another way of writing it. So, you know what? It looks confusing right now, but watch, it's not that bad. So, product of two functions. So, find the derivative. So now, we're going to look at it like this. So I'm going to call this one F, I'm going to call this one G. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's F and that's G, what is F prime?
2x multiplied by b.
Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to recalibrate. All right, so we said F. So F prime would be what? 2x, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And G prime, what's
e to x.
e to the x, because the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x.
Yeah.
Okay, so now there is the format for this, which I got from the previous slide. That was my f prime g plus g prime f. I think they had it the other way. It goes f and g, but it's just multiplying these two together. So these two right here being multiplied together. So f prime. So f prime would be 2x. Okay, times, what is g? E to the x. Plus, what is g prime? E to the x. What is f? 1 plus x squared, like that. Now let's clean up.
We can just take on the e to the x.
Okay, do they have a common factor? Yeah, they both have a common factor of e to the x, so I'm going to clean this up. So if they both have a common factor, I'm going to take that out, e to the x, and it's going to be left with 2x
Plus 1
plus 1
plus x squared.
plus x squared, right? Okay, that's it. The only thing that I would do is actually just rearrange my variables in descending order, right? So I factored out e to the x from both, and I'm left with that, and that is my y prime. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Questions?
No.
This is pretty straightforward, right?
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, that was it. Okay, find the derivative in two ways. One by using the product rule. Okay, so now for right here, I'm going to take this, and this is going to be my f, and this is my g. So let's go through and do the same thing as I do. Every single time when you're doing a product or quotient, we're getting into quotient here in a little bit, you guys are going to start this. So state what your f is, state what your g is, and then from there, list your primes. So f prime, 10v minus 1, right? That's Voodoo method for f. And then g prime, 3v squared, right? Jess? You okay? Okay. Now, so we're going to do the product rule again. That's the one, the f prime g, right? Okay, so f prime, so it's going to be 10v minus 1, right? There's my f prime, and times g, my g was v cubed minus 1, plus g prime, which is 3v squared, and f, which is 5v squared minus v plus 1. Now, when you guys get to the point of taking the AP exam, we're a long ways away from getting to that point. Y'all ain't ready, okay? But once you actually get to that point, when you actually see one of these problems on the free response type question, that is the correct answer. Leave it alone. You don't have to do anything else with that. Don't have to clean it up. You don't have to do anything. Because they're looking for the right answer. Usually, you can get this answer, but then you screw up the next part. So if you screw up the next part is just distributing, factoring, reducing, simplifying, all that other stuff. Okay, that's where you make more mistakes. So leave it alone. That would be your answer. That is correct answer. If you try to factor, if you try to distribute and you mess up, you no longer get that point that you had for this. Okay? But that's eventually, that's way down the road. All right, so let's go through and distribute. Okay, I'm going to distribute this. So this is going to give me 10v to the third, or fourth, right? 10v to the fourth, and it's going to be minus 10v minus v third, and plus 1. Yes? I distributed these, my first two right here. Okay, I distributed those. And let's distribute this. So it's going to give me plus 15v4, right? And then that's going to be minus 3v3. And then it's going to be plus 3v squared. Okay, let's go through and combine like terms. So I'm going to have how many v to the fourth? 25. v4. How many v thirds? Negative 4 v3. Any v squareds? Plus 3v squared. How many v to the first? I just have right here, right? Minus 10 v, and then there's plus 1. There it is. And this is my f prime of v. All right, I'll give you guys a second to copy this down because I'm going to do the next one. Insert page blank page after. Okay, there we go. All right, so now if we go back right here, so we got this answer right here. It says b, multiply the factors of the function before finding its derivative. Okay, so now we're going to distribute these and then find the derivative of it there. So I'm going to need your help on this. So I have 5v squared, right?
Yeah.
What was next?
Minus v plus 1.
Times.
V cubed minus 1.
Okay, so let's go through and do my distribution. So I'm going to start with this one. So it's going to give me 5v to the fifth, right? Minus v to the fourth plus v to the third. And so now I'm going to distribute the other way. So it's going to give me minus 5v squared plus v, and then that's going to give me minus 1. All right, I'm going to go through and do my distribution now. So I did my distribution. Now it's time to do my derivatives. So if I do this derivative, it's going to give me 25v to the fourth minus 4v plus 3v squared minus 4v3. Thank you. I'm sorry. 4v third minus 10v, no. Yeah, minus 10v and plus 1. And this was my f prime of v. Do we get the same thing? Okay, so when you guys are doing these type of problems, you have to look at it and consider, is it going to be easier to distribute first or just do the product rule? Okay, both ways is going to give you the same answer, but I'm just trying to show you that you can go through and do both. But sometimes you have to do product rule, and other times, trust me, it's a lot easier to just distribute and then go with it. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. So quotient rule. Now quotient rule. So all this gobbledygook comes out to here. So it's basically the exact same thing that we just had. It's the same thing that we just had, but since it's a quotient, it changes this to minus, right? This is now minus, and then it's over this squared. So I rearranged the format for your formula sheet. If you guys actually look at formula sheets, is actually it's kind of out of order on this, but it's fine. I made this one. I made the other one according to this. Okay, so quotient has a minus sign, and it's over g squared. All right, so what's my f? What's my g? This one right here, 2x minus 3, right? Okay, so let's go with f prime. What is g prime? There we go. So now, f prime, g, so from my formula, so it's going to be 2x times g, which is 2x minus 3, minus sign, then it's g prime, which is 2, times f, which is x squared plus 1, all over g squared, so it's going to be 2x minus 3 squared. And this, again, is the answer. But we have to go through and do some cleanup. Okay, at this current moment in time, I'm having you guys clean these things up. But like I said, at the end, when it's time to actually get ready for the AP exam, you leave your answer like this. Because if you accidentally distribute, instead of distributing the -2, you distribute a +2 to the next one, and then your whole thing would be wrong. Okay? This gives you 1 point, and if you make a mistake, you're 1 point away. Okay? All right, so let's go through, and I'm going to do my distribution. So y prime is going to be 4x squared minus 6x minus 2x squared minus 2 all over 2x minus 3 squared. Combine like terms. So y prime is going to be 2x squared minus 6x minus 2 all over my 2x minus 3 squared. Now, can I do any factoring? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, I can factor out of 2, and I'm left with x squared minus 3x minus 1 over 2x minus 3 squared. Now, can I factor that trinomial of x squared minus 3x minus 1? Can we factor x squared minus 3x minus 1? No. I'll show you guys, it doesn't, AC method. So a times c, so the coefficient of the x squared is 1, and the c, which is -1, so that would give me just -1. Is there any a plus c that's going to be equal to -3? Is there any multiplication that I'm going to multiply together to get -1 but add together to get -3? No. That's why I know that this one's going to be prime. Okay, I can't factor that one further, so that means this one is going to be my answer there. Okay, so I always want to check for this being able to factor, because quite often you can cancel out one of these from the bottom, if not all of it from the bottom. Okay. when we actually start talking about like position, velocity, acceleration, I kind of need to, because it would be undefined at a certain point in the denominator. And so when I take that derivative, that means that my velocity doesn't have anything at that point. So the first derivative is going to be velocity, while the second derivative is going to be acceleration. So I have to try and keep in mind what my restrictions on my domain is going to be. Okay, derivative reciprocal function. So it's basically taking the reciprocal, so it goes 1 over my function. The derivative of 1 is 0, right? So it is the quotient rule. So if I do the quotient rule on this right here, the derivative of 1 is 0 times g of x minus g prime, right? G prime of x times 1 all over g of x squared. So anything times 0 gives me 0. So this cleans up to be negative g prime of x over g of x squared. And that's where we get this one right here. So just taking the derivative of the function's inverse, the reciprocal of it, flipping it over basically. All right. Okay, here's the rule that we did earlier for the warm-up. So when I have to the negative power, it's the same as doing it over, moving it to the denominator, or I can move the whole thing up to the numerator. So it's the same thing. You have to be able to move it back and forth. So now I could do this one now. I could do the derivative of this one now. Okay? The derivative of x to the negative 1 is going to give me negative 1, right? X to the what? Are you guys okay? Is it because it's Monday? Okay. Negative 2, very good. Is everyone following along, or is it just, no? Are you guys lost?
No.
No? Participation? Are we okay? Did Dutch Bros not have your stuff, so you're like, not there yet?
What?
You! In your Dutch Bros, right there. Or is that Starbucks? Is it AJ's?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Did I insult your coffee there? Okay.
It's not even coffee.
Okay, whatever it is. Nicole, are you alright?
Yeah.
Okay. Not really participating here. Just smiling and nodding your head. Alright, so how would I rewrite this answer?
1 over.
Minus
Negative 1 over.
x squared.
There we go. Is that easy?
Yeah.
Okay. So how would I rewrite B so I could actually do that one?
Negative 2 over.
Nope, I want to rewrite it first.
Okay. Negative. Oh,
U to the
negative 2.
negative 2, right?
Yes.
So I'm rewriting it first so I can do my derivative. I rewrite it, negative exponent, so now I can go ahead and do my derivative. So my derivative would be negative 2 u to the
Minus.
negative 3, right? And now clean it up. Negative 2 over u to the positive 3. Está muy fácil?
What?
All right, let's do C. So rewrite C first. So that would give me
4s to the negative.
S to the negative 5. Very good. So take the derivative now.
Negative 20 to s
Negative what?
6.
6. Very good. And now clean it up. Negative 20 over to positive 6. Are we okay?
Well, what happened to the D's?
What happened to the what?
Like the D's? Or is it just like...
Oh, this is the notation for saying take the derivative
Oh, okay. Okay.
in terms of s. Okay, take the ds means it's in terms of s. This again says take the derivative in terms of u.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, I thought I mentioned that before. All right, and I think on this one, I think I leave you alone on this one. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I leave you alone here. We pick up this one tomorrow. All right, you guys. So don't forget, like and subscribe.
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes?